Newstalk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, anyplace with the new Fergus Now app on your phone. It's 10:36, and joining me now from the Fergus Falls Area Chamber of Commerce, we got the president herself, Lisa Workman, for Chamber on the Air. How's it going, Lisa?
Well, hey, Dave, thank you very much. And I am one lucky person because I'm president of the organization, and I didn't have to go through the whole election process. I get
Four more
years.
Instead. Four more years.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, thanks, everyone, for tuning into Chamber on the Air. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to share some great stories with some of our Chamber members today. And joining me on the show will be the City of Fergus Falls, Lake Region Healthcare, and Creative Handmade Goods and Soap Works. So we've got a lot of great information, fun facts, just cool stories, things that you're going to learn a little bit about from each of our members that we're going to visit with. But before we get started with that, I just want to share a little bit about things that are right around the corner with the Fergus Falls Chamber. First of all, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Otter Cove Children's Museum staff and board of directors for hosting us at Chamber Cafe this morning. It was so much fun to be there and to play and to share information and have a great breakfast from Service Food and Perks this morning. So thanks, everyone, for being a part of Chamber Cafe. Our next Chamber Cafe events will be in January and March, and those will be virtual, so we won't have to be concerned at all about weather impediments for our next Chamber Cafe. Coming up yet this month, though, is we are kicking off the holiday shopping season with Shop, Drop, and Win. That will start on November 23rd, Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Start saving those receipts, and you'll be able to register online or at the Chamber for a chance to win Fergus Bucks when you shop locally. And, of course, we'll visit with Jan Werka towards the end of the show to talk a little bit more about some of those great shop local things that are going on. And then we also want to invite you to come to the Chamber's Merry Mix and Mingle holiday party on Saturday, December 3rd. We will be at the Eagles Club, and we are going to entertain you with a cocktail and some appetizers and a fabulous dinner and the comedy of John Bush. So this is going to be a fabulous event. It's open to the public. You can get tickets from the Chamber either on our website or give us a call at 736-6951. It's $50 per person. It includes everything. You don't have to do any of the planning. So after the Over the River Festival, you can cap off the evening with a fun, relaxing night of socializing and eating and drinking and being merrying and mixing and mingling. How about that? So,
that's anyhow, a lot of ings.
That's a lot of ings. That's a lot of ings. So, and that's the voice of Jean Bowman, the new communications manager for the City of Fergus Falls. And Jean, you're 2 months into the position, and it's been a whirlwind with it just, finishing up the election.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on your show, Lisa. I'm going to first hit the two timely things that you just mentioned in your intro, and that is weather. So the city crews will be out plowing, and whenever we get at least 3 inches of snow, the city crews go out and they plow the snow emergency routes, and you can find a map of those roads on our city website. And then once those routes are clear, curb to curb, they will go into the neighborhoods and clear the rest of those areas as well. We do want to remind residents to, if possible, to keep their cars off the street. If you have a driveway or a parking garage you can park in, please make use of that so that our crews can, have full access to the road. We don't do, an even or odd or north or south, park here, don't park here kind of a thing in Fergus Falls. So we just ask everybody to be respectful of our crews so that they can be out. And don't forget to shovel your sidewalk, too. By city law, you do have the first 6 feet from the curb to your sidewalk that is your responsibility to clear off. So,
hopefully we won't need that very soon.
I know.
Let's just be prepared, like we're Boy Scouts, right?
Right, and I might have to talk about that again later and, check back with me in February maybe.
That sounds good.
Something
maybe
like
March.
That. Yeah.
We'll talk about shoveling, but not till.
So the elections are over, as you said, and we want to thank the Fergus Falls residents for approving the 2 local sales tax option projects. The Aquatic Center and the D Lagoon Park projects passed 60% to 40% no's. So I think that was an overwhelming success for the community, and it really shows our council members and staff that progress and activities for kids and improvements are all things that that our residents and voters want to see happen. And we have to thank Lynn Olson and the 100-plus people who volunteered their time to serve as election judges on Tuesday. We couldn't have done it without them.
That's an army.
It is an army. It is. It was a great group. And Lynn does a great job keeping us all together. I was an election judge at the library, and everything is so well organized that there was no hiccups at all. So that was great.
Well, and it's so nice to see so much voter turnout, but not having the lines like many of us saw on TV or on social media when it comes to the bigger cities. That is one of the beauties of being in a smaller area, is that, you know what, I think I had to wait in line for like 90 seconds to vote.
That's too long.
Yeah. It's nice to not have to deal with that. So,
right.
And it takes a big group of those election judges to make things flow smoothly.
Absolutely. I think just two other city council related things or city projects I'll let you know about before I pass it off to our next speaker, and that is that on Monday night city council meeting, the council unanimously approved a conditional use permit for the Welcome House. And it's not the do I need to move that a little?
Pull that closer.
Hold that closer. Thank you. See, that's my first time. I'm just learning. Anyway, you're familiar with the Welcome House thrift store here behind Fleet Farm, but this is a Welcome House that will be a sober home for women in transitional housing, dealing with addictions. And it's much like the women's version of a Matthew House. But because they're going to be in a residential area, they needed special permission to have up to 10 people in that facility. So the city council approved that on Monday night. So that's really good news.
That's fantastic.
And that will go forward. We've heard from a lot of folks in town that there's really a need for that.
Definitely.
And the last thing is that we've all heard there's a child care shortage in Fergus Falls, right?
Yes.
All over the country. And we're working on that as well as the county's working on that. It's the Rural Child Care Innovation Program that we're doing collaborative programming with First Children's Finance. And they've had a model that they've brought to Fergus Falls. We applied for and received a grant to work on this together and do some problem solving. So if you know of somebody who's a child care provider, we're doing some surveys, we're doing parent surveys, we're doing business leader surveys, and kickoff event on December 1st. So we're trying to help be part of that solution, and we appreciate all the partnership, public, private. We need to work together for that.
Absolutely. We know that's all part of the workforce challenges that our community is facing. And with all of the great assets that Fergus Falls has, from Otter Cove Children's Museum to Dr. Alan Magnuson Park and the soon Aquatic Center and these things, it attracts families, which is great for our employers, our businesses, for our nonprofits. It's great for our community when the families move here, but we want to make sure they have childcare too. So it takes a lot of people to be parts of those solutions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, fantastic, Jean. Well, thank you so much for the update from the city of Fergus Falls. And well, with that, we've been talking about parks. Dr. Alan Magnuson Park, right across the street from Lake Region Healthcare. And Kent Madsen is here with Lake Region Healthcare. And well, you guys have made some very significant investments recently, but it doesn't involve any bricks or construction. This is something that I think your patients, all of the patients, are really going to love, your partnership with Epic.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity to come here, Lisa, and Leighton Broadcasting. We appreciate partnering to share a lot of our messages over the years, and got some really exciting news. Yeah, with a project like this, which is basically we're adopting Epic as our main operating software. You can't see it because there's nothing being built over it, but you can feel it. It's in every aspect of our business. It's the way we schedule patients. It's the way we register patients. It's the way that our doctors and our clinicians document the care. And it also goes through our revenue cycle. So it's how we drop charges and how we collect from insurance companies. So I can't think of really any other business that has a software solution kind of in one package that touches every element of what we do. So you can imagine that for everybody that works with us, it touches all of their lives and every part of their day. And it's really the biggest thing that we've done over the years at Lake Region Healthcare. It's about a $25 million investment over a 5-year period. We've spent more money on that, on other things, but just the change management that's involved in this is pretty incredible. Our staff is doing phenomenally. It's a lot of change in their day-to-day. The other thing we've got to do is thank our patients. Our patients are being very patient with us because it's a different experience when you come into our facilities. But at the end of the day, when this gets rolled out, it's going to be such a better solution. Our patients are going to have the ability to have a seamless care record where they get care at Lake Region in Fergus Falls or Elbow Lake or Morris, because we've got about 11 different facilities over across 9 communities. You're going to have that same care record. But even more so, we oftentimes partner with systems around us. And so if somebody gets care at Essentia or CentraCare or Sanford, they run Epic as well. So the medical records are going to speak to each other seamlessly, and it's going to be just such a great experience for our patients because we know at our community facilities we can't take care of everybody's problems. We partner with larger organizations to do that. And Epic is one way that we're going to just really change the patient experience in kind of a fundamental way. So we're really excited.
Yeah, it is. It's a great system, and it's going to take some time. Like you said, that you've started rolling it out. Is it last week? It's been about a week.
Our go live was last Tuesday at supposed to be at 7 a.m. We went live 3 minutes or so early, but it also went live at all of our locations. So everywhere that we have clinicians and business people, we turned on the new system. And we turned off the old. So,
scary.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And there's been a lot of planning. It's about 2 years of selection and about a year plus of building this. And it's so tough to watch this happen because you're not watching, bricks go on, and you're not watching, a roof go on, but you see the impact that everybody's having to do day in and day out. And when you turn it on, it feels like a wisp of air, but you can really see the excitement at our facilities right now. One of the things for patients you should know is there's a new portal, there's a new app. There's a new way that you can access your medical records. There's a new way you can communicate with your providers. There's a new way you can, learn about appointments that you have coming up. And it's MyChart. And it's a solution that Epic has as one of its foundational pieces of their software solution. It is hosted by Sanford Health. And that's one of the things that people are kind of reacting to because early on in the rollout, they're getting some messages from Sanford Health to enroll in MyChart. Some people are saying, well, I didn't see anybody at Sanford. Why am I getting something from Sanford? That's just the way that Sanford works to support our system. They're like a vendor, a software vendor.
Sure.
So it's not
a merger.
Sanford. It's not a merger, no.
Not a merger, not a buyout.
Not a buyout.
It's a partnership with Sanford, and we want to be very clear on that Lake Region is remaining independent.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. We like straight talk. We appreciate the relationship that we have with Sanford Health, but we're not merging with them. They're not buying us. We're not buying them. But it really just respects a relationship that we've had with Merit Care and before that St. Luke's. So Sanford was Merit Care before Merit Care was Merit Care, they were St. Luke's. And through all the years that Lake Region has been around, we've partnered with them to take care of patients that we can't take care of in our communities close to home. So we just kind of recognized how we can make sure that our patients have a better experience and how we can get Epic. We couldn't buy Epic direct because Epic has a certain size of a customer that they sell to. We're just below that bar. So Epic has a solution that's used all over the United States that's called the Community Connect program. So one of their direct customers can host Epic for us, but we're big enough to have a direct relationship with Epic. So it's really a Sanford-hosted arrangement, but we have a direct arrangement with Epic. So Sanford is involved in making Epic available, but it's really, they're like a technology vendor.
Right.
The other thing about Sanford is they really share a common vision, which is getting patients cared for as close to home as possible. So we're a regional healthcare partner for Sanford Health. We take care of a lot of patients that don't have to travel to Fargo. But sometimes we do have to get people to a larger site, whether that's Mayo or CentraCare or Sanford or Essentia. Epic will be able to speak to their caregivers there. So we're joining the Sea of Epic that's in Minnesota, but we are not being bought out. We're not for sale. We've got a nice footprint that we take care of patients in over these 9 communities, like I mentioned. We just recognize that if we were going to be independent and autonomous into the future, we had to have a better electronic medical record, and Sanford facilitated that. but we are still independent, and we'll be Lake Region Healthcare for a long time, and we are optimistic about our future.
And you've got a great team there, Kent, that is working to transition, not only your staff, but also patients to using the MyChart app. And so if folks have used it for Sanford or some of the other providers, they don't have to download the app twice. It's all going to be in one place. And plus, you've got a great team on hand, especially you've had some extra folks on hand to help patients get this ramped up and get started with it.
Yeah, absolutely. MyChart functionality, you can add Lake Region as another location. If you get healthcare other places, you'll see all the messages from your Epic organizations in one location. So whether it's Mayo or Lake Region Healthcare, you'll be able to see all that messaging and organize it. The medical records will go nicely back and forth. And that's a good point. Over the last week and through the rest of this week, we've had about 130 subject matter experts from Epic and Sanford at all of our facilities at the elbow, helping our people learn the system, roll out the system, and each day the confidence of our staff members build towards familiarity with the solution. We do have people that are on site to help sign on to MyChart, because if you sign on to MyChart as a patient and load up and update your information in MyChart, the wait at our facilities will be less, because with the new system, we have to load a bunch of new information in. So the more that our patients can do that before you get to us, the better. And we're also asking patients to remember, come 15 minutes early. Because there's a little bit of a line in registration, because they've got to add new information that you can't do remotely. So
Sure.
We appreciate, again, our patients' patience with us. Expect a little bit of a different experience, but we've got free coffee. We've got snacks around. You can sign up for MyChart. And I can't praise enough our staff and our providers for what they've gone through over this last year of intense preparation and what they're going through now with the tremendous change management. We have excellent people that will help take care of our patients well, and they're just knocking it out of the park. It's going really well.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the rollout and your team's work, that everything they've done to bring Epic and MyChart to our community and to help improve healthcare throughout the region.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And also on Dr. Magnuson Park, where I office, it's fun to watch how busy that park has gotten. Kids are loving it. It's busy every day. And we'll see what happens with the winter, but we appreciate everybody's partnership in making that happen. And I know Dr. Magnuson is proud of that. So it's
Definitely.
great.
Well, it takes a community. Well, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about busy and community and all kinds of cool things happening downtown. So stay tuned.
Throughout Otter County, we have a number of fantastic public safety organizations, 40 in total, that actually serve the county. So it's important to know that first and foremost, we have that public safety system in place, and it is a fantastic system. The piece to keep in mind, however, is that they need to be notified that something has happened. And so we have a little bit of a gap that we want residents to be aware of and be prepared to take some initial steps to prepare themselves to provide that initial response while responders are in motion and kind of notified and sent out to the scene. Our responders are there to provide that expertise and to help you transition to more of that long-term or permanent assistance level. But people really need to be in a position to take steps to be ready for those situations in which they might need to call for assistance and provide that initial layer of response.
The Otter Tail County Public Health Department works to prevent, promote, and protect the health of its residents and citizens. We want to encourage individuals to have healthy lifestyles as well as healthy communities here in Otter Tail County. We really encourage people to be able to take care of themselves in an emergency, like knowing CPR or having a first aid kit and knowing how to use those supplies, kind of practicing what you would do in an emergency, like evacuating your house and things like that. As far as community-wide, we would like people to be aware of what's going on in the community, be aware of weather alerts and how that might affect their day-to-day plans, and where is their most local resources for medical care when they need it, as well as mental health resources.
When we talk with people about being prepared in their personal lives and at home, we talk to them about planning, having a plan, having an idea what to do, where to go. In my family, we talk about things like, if we have a fire in our house, where are we going to meet? So we have a place not only at our house, but if it's in the middle of winter, at what neighbor's house do we meet? So we're not trying to look for each other, know where people are at. There's several things I think that are important for people to know about emergency medical services. One is these are people that, a lot of areas are volunteer people that volunteer their time to respond and take care of you. Those are the first responders that are out in all the communities, and they have to go through training and education and maintain the skill and education to be able to be out there and serve you. Again, they do this for no compensation, just as a service to the community. And it's important that the community support these people and provide them with the resources they need. So as you look at our system, I think that you'll see where this county excels from a lot of places in the integration of services, systems, and people together.
What we do in law enforcement is we mentally prepare for a lot of different situations. So when it does happen, we'll hopefully have a little insight to how we're going to respond, right? And I would say that for the public as well, as if you're worried about, let's say, a tornado, you have a plan in place so that when and if that does happen, you can respond and without hesitation. And I think just mentally preparing is very important. And one of the big things that we seem to stress quite a bit is see something, say something. If there's something going on, it's really valuable to call when that's happening versus after the fact. We can follow up and investigate, but it's much easier to respond when the incident is happening.
The fire service talks about escape plans and planning for emergencies and disasters and things. Really what's critical is practicing your plan and doing it, making it fun, letting the family, the kids, whoever know, the animals know what the smoke detector sounds like, what the carbon monoxide detector sounds like, and practice it and be familiar with it. It's not as scary when you do those things. When you have an emergency or you think there's an emergency, you hear that little voice in your head saying, it's time to call for help. Call 911. The dispatchers will walk you through that. If it's not a true emergency, we'll figure that out. But the little voice in your head sometimes is really important. But call 911 as soon as possible.
So whether it's a personal emergency or if it's a national or a state or a local disaster, we want people to know that their actions, their immediate actions, are critical. Whether it's a person in cardiac arrest and they can't breathe or their heart stopped, starting CPR immediately. If they're bleeding, controlling the bleeding. But the most important and the first step would be, whether you're a coworker, a family member, or a bystander, is to call 911. Call and get the help on its way. And again, the most important first responder is the first person there, the bystander, the coworker, the family member. That's why everyone should know CPR, and everyone should know how to use an AED, and everyone should know what to do in an emergency before the ambulance arrives.
The more you're prepared before a disaster, the calmer you're going to be after it happens. If you have a plan, you can work that plan. The more you practice it, the more you're going to be prepared for it. It'll become a second nature.
For more information on how you can learn about the public safety agencies throughout Ottertail County, along with some information about the various hazards and emergency types that we know can happen within our community, and resources on what you can do to be ready for those things to take place, invite everyone to visit the Ottertail County website and search for Are You Ready? Find a lot of good resources, information, contact information for a lot of our partners and public safety agencies that people can utilize to put together their plan and to generally reach out to those partners for additional information even beyond what we provide there.
Newstalk 1250 KBRF, and we're back with Chamber on the Air with Lisa Workman.
Hey, we're talking about Fergus Falls deals. Well, we have the queen of the deals and the shopping and it's a all-in-one. All-in-one. Jan Workott is joining us here from Creative Handmade Goods. And, well, you guys start your preparing for the holiday season months in advance, don't you? I mean, I think of the making of the soap.
Yeah, so the soap making part of the process, I usually like to get done in September. This year I we've been able to grow enough that we're able to hire a few people. And this year we actually got that part of the holiday preparation done in August.
Wow.
So everyone's Christmas soaps are sitting there just getting better and better every day. And we're super happy about that. We did get a lot of inquiries in the store really early this year about Christmas shopping and where's the Christmas stuff and when are you getting your holiday stuff in. So people
they're ready.
They're shopping early this year, really
shopping
early.
Locally.
And we typically try to wait until Halloween is over with before we convert to Christmas. But we had a lot of pressure this year, and we did put some Halloween stuff out. We didn't quite go too crazy and stick up all the trees and all that kind of stuff, but that is happening this week. And I do see that many of my fellow retailers downtown are also getting their Christmas decor out, and I do know that there's a couple, Victor Lundeen, for one, has their Christmas preview going on this week, so lots of getting ready for the holidays with all of the downtown businesses.
You know, with the businesses getting ready, it is a perfect time. The weather's still okay, you know, to get out and wander downtown. So for folks, if you haven't heard of or been to, which I don't know what rock you live under, but anyhow, if you haven't been to Creative Handmade Goods downtown Fergus Falls, Jan, give us kind of a description. I mean, all the things that are there. So for one is the Soapworks products that again are manufactured right here in Fergus Falls. And so tell us a little bit about the products, and then let's talk about all the other different things in the store.
Sure. So our Soapworks Naturals brand is actually a bath and body manufacturing facility that we actually are downtown, not in our same location, but we have another location where we manufacture all of the Soapworks products, and that's handmade cold processed soap, it's lotions, it's dishwashing soaps, it's all sorts of beard care for the men, and all sorts of. We kind of run the whole gamut.
And bath bombs.
And bath bombs.
Kind of love a bath bomb.
Yeah, bath bombs my favorite thing to make. Not. But in addition to the Soapworks Naturals brand, we also inside Creative Handmade Goods have over 40 local makers, and that would be potters, painters, weavers, woodworkers. Everyone's looking for sweater mittens. We've got some sweater mitten makers, all sorts of interesting, unique makers from primarily the greater Fergus Falls area. We don't even really have a lot of makers who are from outside of the region. So when you shop at Creative Handmade Goods, you're shopping and supporting our business, but you're also supporting all of those makers that we support by giving them an opportunity to sell their goods in our stores.
And great gift ideas, but not just gifts, things for your own home, things, supplies. I mean, there's candy in there too. So
yeah, so we have a little teeny candy section, and we're kind of like I don't want to say department store, but we do have a lot of, we got a little kids corner. We've got our candy corner. You can buy home decor. You can buy handmade jewelry. You can buy a piece of original art. You can buy a coffee mug made locally. There's all sorts of lots of options there, and we're taking in new makers almost every week. We've got somebody new, and people kind of cycle out. Too, because some of the people that some of our maker partners, they kind of ebb and flow, and especially like during COVID, a lot of people either lost their creativity or gained some creativity. So it's been interesting to kind of see what came of that from our various makers as well.
And you guys, Jan, Creative Handmade Goods located downtown Fergus Falls?
Downtown Fergus Falls, 216 West Lincoln, so right in the heart of downtown. And we are open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5:30. Typically at Christmas time, we'll expand those hours slightly, as do many of our fellow retailers downtown. But we are there for the remainder of the season, at least Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5:30.
Fantastic. Well, another great place to shop, Fergus Falls. And wow, our time is up already. We have so much great information to share. If you want to learn more about our Chamber members, check out the Chamber's website at fergusfalls.com. I'm Lisa Workman. This has been Chamber on the Air. We'll talk to you again in December.